Allama Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, widely regarded as one of the most prominent philosophers, poets, and thinkers of the Indian subcontinent, was born on November 9, 1877, in Sialkot, which was then part of British India and is now in Pakistan. His early education was in Sialkot, where he was influenced by his father, who instilled in him a deep sense of spirituality and intellectual curiosity. Iqbal's mother also played a crucial role in nurturing his early love for literature and poetry. He attended Government College Lahore, where his academic brilliance began to emerge, leading him to pursue higher studies in philosophy. Iqbal's intellectual journey took him to Europe, where he studied at the University of Cambridge, then the University of Munich, earning a degree in philosophy. It was during his time in Europe that Iqbal was deeply influenced by the works of Western philosophers, especially Friedrich Nietzsche, Henri Bergson, and Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. At the University of Munich, he completed his doctorate in philosophy in 1908 with a thesis on the development of metaphysical thought in Persia. This exposure to Western thought, combined with his deep roots in Islamic culture, led Iqbal to critically evaluate the situation of the Muslim world and the challenges it faced in modernity. Iqbal became an active figure in intellectual circles, advocating for the revitalization of Muslim thought. His poetry began to reflect this dual commitment to the revival of Islamic spirituality and a call for political and social reforms within the Muslim community. His first major work in Persian, Asrar-i Khudi, The Secrets of the Self, published in 1915, is considered one of his most significant contributions to philosophy and poetry. In this work, Iqbal emphasized the concept of self-realization and individual empowerment, arguing that every person possesses a unique inner potential that must be nurtured and realized. This theme became central to his later writings, both in Persian and Urdu. Iqbal's poetry, deeply philosophical and filled with imagery of spiritual awakening, began to attract attention not only among intellectuals, but also among the general populace. His work resonated particularly with the youth of the time, as it encouraged them to take ownership of their identity and their future. Iqbal's ability to merge traditional Islamic thought with modern philosophical ideas allowed him to present a vision of self-empowerment, freedom, and intellectual growth that inspired many. Iqbal delivered a famous address at the annual meeting of the All India Muslim League in Allahabad, where he articulated his vision for a separate Muslim state. He argued that the Muslims in India, being culturally and politically distinct from the Hindu majority, needed a separate homeland where they could freely practice their religion and develop their own identity. This speech laid the intellectual groundwork for the creation of Pakistan, and it is often seen as the moment when Iqbal's political ideas began to take shape. Though he did not live to see the formation of Pakistan, Iqbal's ideas were instrumental in shaping the vision of the country and its founding ideology. Iqbal's political activism, however, was not limited to his support for a separate Muslim state. He also advocated for the social and political upliftment of Muslims across the subcontinent, particularly in education and economic development. His views on unity among Muslims, irrespective of their sectarian differences, were a cornerstone of his political thought. He believed that Muslims must come together to revive their civilization and modernize their societies while remaining rooted in their Islamic identity. Iqbal's later years were marked by significant personal challenges, including ill health. He suffered a stroke in 1930, which left him physically weakened but did not dampen his intellectual output. His works during this period, including Bang Adra, The Call of the Marching Bell, Bala Jibril, Gabriel's Wing, and Zuburai Ajam, The Psalms of Persia, continued to elaborate on his ideas of self-realization, spiritual revival, and the need for political autonomy for Muslims. His poetry increasingly focused on the relationship between the individual and the divine, as well as the importance of awakening the spiritual consciousness of the Muslim Ummah, a community. Iqbal's health continued to deteriorate, and he died on April 21, 1938, in Lahore. Despite his relatively short life, his legacy has had a profound and lasting impact on both the intellectual and political landscape of South Asia. Iqbal's work inspired generations of thinkers, poets, and politicians, and his ideas continue to be studied and debated today. In Pakistan, he is honored as the national poet and is known as Shair-e-Vez for his contributions to the cultural and intellectual awakening of the Muslim world. Iqbal's vision for a separate Muslim state, which ultimately led to the creation of Pakistan in 1947, remains a defining element of his legacy. However, his influence extended beyond the political sphere, as he is also remembered as a philosopher who sought to reconcile the modern world with Islamic thought. His works continue to inspire discussions on Islamic philosophy, the role of religion in the modern world, and the pursuit of personal and collective self-realization. In his poetry and philosophy, Iqbal sought to create a vision of a dynamic, self-confident Muslim society capable of navigating the challenges of the modern world while remaining rooted in its spiritual and cultural heritage. His legacy endures not only in Pakistan, but in the broader Muslim world, where his ideas continue to resonate.